This is the Smart Girl's Guide to Real Estate with Jamie Hearn, your invitation to start building wealth on your terms. From first deals to big empires, this podcast will help smart girls invest smarter.
Hi, and welcome to the Smart Girl's Guide to Real Estate with Jamie Hearn. I'm super excited to chat with Kim Ward today. Kim is a soul sister and a pioneer in women in real estate, so I can't wait for her to share some of her insights and wisdom with us today. Thanks for joining us, Kim.
Thank you for having me.
How did you first get started in real estate?
I played around with real estate in 2013. I didn't have the special knowledge. I just kind of did it by the seat of my pants, so to speak. And then just to let you know, I'm a serial entrepreneur. So one of my last businesses I had was FedEx business, and that was a 7-day a week. I had that business from 2017 until 2022, and it took a lot out of me. Again, all 7 days, all day long. I had about 50 trucks and off and on 75 drivers at one time. And after I sold the business, I took a year off and promised myself I was not going to start anything. And then I started seeing these ads pop up on Facebook about real estate investing. So I took the master class and dove into real estate investing and haven't turned back.
I actually took that same master class during COVID or right after COVID. I don't really remember where it fell in the sequence of timeline. And it was a really good springboard, deeper knowledge, meeting more people like you, and stepping onto the path that I'm on. So, I mean, I'm thrilled that we started there.
Yes.
What I got out of that entire network were connections. Yeah, it did teach me stuff that I didn't already know. I had a pretty good knowledge base as an attorney, so I
Right.
had done a lot of it, but it did give me some nuance that I wasn't aware of. None of that compares to the connection with people like you that I got out of that network. So, like I said, I'm thrilled that we were there.
Yes, 100%. It is. It's all about the network.
Where has your real estate journey gone recently?
Recently, PadSplit co-living has always interested me. In March of 24, I got my first PadSplit.
Can you explain what that is in case any of our viewers aren't sure? Because some people may not have had exposure to that.
Absolutely. PadSplit is just a platform for the co-living concept. And it is, you can take a home and Frankenstein it, so to speak, put up walls. You could take a home that's 4-2, put up walls that are basically in common areas, dining room, rooms that you wouldn't even use, and turn them into bedrooms. So instead of getting rental income off of one property, you can get rental income off of several. So you could turn the 4-2 into a 7-2. And it's affordable housing, which is dear to me, creating affordable housing. And it's the future.
Affordable housing is definitely one of my soapboxes as well. I
Yes.
actually represented the local housing authority, and I see some of the situations that people are trying to get out of and can't afford to because housing is so horrendously expensive. Thank you for making a contribution to that sector.
Well, you're welcome. And what's great about it is the tenants pay weekly. So they pay as low as, depending on the area, as low as 150 a week to one of my higher area, which is like 6 bed, 6 bath, up to 300 a week. And it also, PadSplit creates the tenants the possibility of creating good credit, which I think is cool also.
Oh yeah, I wasn't aware of that. That's really
Yes.
fantastic.
I have a funny story. So I have 10 pad splits and I wanted to, that was just a goal in my head. And I also have 8 grandchildren. So I wanted a pad split per each grandchild. And just recently, I acquired my 10th pad split, and I had 2 daughters that informed me that they are pregnant. So I spoke it into existence, and now I have 10 grandchildren by the end of the year, and I already have my 10 pad splits for them.
I love that. I mean, synchronicity is just the coolest thing. And I'm sure your daughters are hoping that you don't decide you want 20 plant splits.
I'm sure they are, but I still have one daughter that does not have any children. So I still have a little more work to do.
Well, congratulations on both of those fronts. That's fantastic.
Yes. And I would like to, if I can share about the pad split model and I think I've spoke to you before about how, yes, I want to create a legacy for my children and grandchildren, but at the same time, I would like to, help people out. And I recently, 3 of my grandchildren are foster boys. We've had them 6 years. We're going to be able to adopt them by the end of the year.
That's just so heartwarming. I'm so excited for you guys and them.
It's been a long road, and I am thrilled that they're going to have consistency in their life. But really, if you think about it, it's not a win-win situation for them, but it's the best for them in this situation. They're going to have consistency, and so I'm real thrilled about that
And
and
they're
their
so
future.
fortunate to have a loving family. Like
Yes.
you guys are lovely, kind, warm
Mhm.
people, and
Well,
they
thank you.
they could have found themselves in a different situation entirely. So I'm really happy that they found you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I would like to start a nonprofit where my grandsons that were in foster care, they have siblings that are aging out of foster care and have nowhere to go. So my next project that I want to work on is a nonprofit, and I would like to put the home in Memphis where the boys' siblings are and create stability for them. So that's what I'm researching and studying how to get that started.
I love that because I mean, there are so many different things that we can do with this knowledge that we're acquiring. And I think
Yes,
that all of it should be driven by some benefit to the greater good. Like
100%.
our impact can ripple so significantly. That segment of the population is really vulnerable. Our kids that we are able to provide stability and security to still struggle at 18, 19, 20 years
Yes,
old. So
yes,
I can't even imagine how challenging it is for kids that don't have that and don't have the safety net of a loving home to come home to. So, Kim, thank you
yes.
for being that person and working toward that impact. That's beautiful.
Well, thank you. I think there's many of us and yourself that want to use the real estate investing not only for our families, but for helping other people, which is great.
Absolutely. And honestly, that's one of my mantles is reallocating wealth into the hands of women because
Yes.
women work for those social reasons. Like, of course, we work to benefit our families too. Our grandbabies are first to us.
Yes.
Everyone knows that. We make a bigger impact with wealth. Not to say men don't make impact with wealth, but women make a proportionately larger impact with money than men do in similar situations.
Yes, I believe that. Yes. And I joke with my girls, I have 4 daughters. I was like, I like the grandchildren better than I like you. And they just laugh.
When my son came home and told me they were having a baby, I said, I'm super excited. And you do realize that this totally bumps you out of the running, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
But one of the coolest things about having a grandbaby is seeing my own son in him, like, and remembering those really sweet moments when my son was little and adorable and didn't come with the same baggage that adult children come with.
Exactly. Exactly.
What are some really interesting things you have learned in this real estate journey?
Well, that could be 2 days of talking.
Right?
So,
We're gonna have a master class on that alone.
yes,
Pitfalls.
yes. I think it's important. We hear all the happy, positive things about real estate investing, and they are, and it's great. And I wouldn't take that back for anything. But I think it's important as women sharing with other women, sharing some of the pitfalls that happen because there are things that happen. I know myself, I dove in so fast and thought that I was doing my due diligence on some things. And I was looking at a property and I was getting ready to put a contract on the property and I was looking at the pictures and it was penciling out great. The underwriting, everything, the numbers were amazing. But I kept looking at the pictures going, and I got the rehab costs, but it still just looks really, really bad. And because of something that happened on a property in Atlanta, I called up the permit office, kind of made a few phone calls, and I discovered that there was let me back up 1 second. They wanted to close in 10 days, and I hate rushing, but I really wanted the property. And in my mind, I'm going, why are they rushing? If it was foreclosure, okay, I see that, but this wasn't the case. So I made a few phone calls and found out that they had an emergency uh, demo on the property. And just us sharing the different pitfalls maybe will trigger somebody to do something extra, more diligence on the
Yeah,
property. The property that I got in Atlanta, the title company didn't pick up some of those things and don't always depend on title company to pick up on things, to kind of do some of your own work.
absolutely. And I have run title companies, and every region has a different standard about what the title company is responsible for. So it is really important to do some of your own due diligence, or a lot of your own due diligence, really, because if a title company doesn't normally look at things like that, they're not going to, just because you're an investor and not local. Ask. If you
Exactly.
if you don't ask, it won't be on their radar, or just go do it yourself.
Exactly. And that is real important. Also, if you're buying a property, buy and hold rental, check on squatters if squatters have rights. I just ran into that situation and called the police, did all the things that I was supposed to do as far as trying to get them evicted. The police said the squatters have all the rights. So that's another thing to check in. Now, I'm happy to say the squatters are out, but that's another thing that I didn't even think about checking into.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's kind of been in the conversation lately, at least in the real estate investing world. What rights do squatters have? And again, every state is different. So it is important to understand, what rights do they have? How do you address them? And is it worth the possible exposure that you're going to face to get them out?
Yes, exactly. There's a video out that I'll send to you later. This gentleman in California, someone moved into his mom's house and squatters, and they had the rights and didn't leave. And he moved in and made their life miserable. And that's what the police officer told me was, I can have anybody move in there that I want to just because they're squatters. So that's what happened. We just made their lives a little miserable.
I love it. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I've heard all sorts of stories about some of the extreme lengths people have gone to disrupt the squatters' lives.
exactly. Exactly. And again, I went to help them, but they weren't, I tried talking to them, communicating with them. So I don't know what the answer is there on that. It's an issue. I know that they're not homeless because family members picked them up. So I don't know where we need to go with that. Again, back to affordable housing. I just think being open to it all.
Well, right. And, every situation is so different. We don't know what their motivations are. And sometimes their motivations aren't as magnanimous as we would hope they were.
Correct.
So you have to be able to pivot and be creative in problem solving to be successful in this industry.
Yes. Yes.
So when you started your journey, did you do any wholesaling or anything, or did you start right away with acquiring properties?
I didn't do wholesaling. I looked into it and thought about it, but didn't want to knock on doors. I didn't want to write letters. I didn't want to do cold calling. That's just what I chose because I didn't want to take the time to do that. So I chose to find some wholesalers to work with that I vetted and worked with. And that's how I get my properties.
I also went that route. And for me, it was a time thing. I had
Yes.
very limited time, so I wanted to maximize the results I was getting from my time. That's why it was more effective for me to find a wholesaler who was out doing that work. And then I'm benefiting them too. So we're all making something on the transaction and
Absolutely.
everybody
Abs-
has a role.
Absolutely.
What other ideas do you have for expanding your real estate business? What direction are you thinking about continuing to move?
I would like to start looking into buying businesses. And one of the things that I would like to do is look at purchasing RV parks, look at possible storage units. I'm just kind of researching all of that. And there's so many things out there. I was at a conference a month and a half ago, and there were so many different things to invest in, from billboards to, of course, you've got your gold and silver, but I learned so much at that conference. And one of the things that kept sticking out was the RV parks. So I'm
Hmm,
definitely interested in that.
I love that. I've
Yes,
been looking at them also, and who knows, maybe we'll find one and work on it together.
that would be fun. Yes.
That's one of the things that I'm finding super valuable is cultivating partnerships with the right people.
Vetting your partner 100%. Yes.
It's important to recognize when a partnership has run its course. Sometimes we enter into partnerships for a specific reason, and that reason may not last multiple years. So it's not
Correct.
necessary to stay in the partnership. It's like a bad relationship. When it's over, don't keep trying to force it.
It's and like you said, it could be just for a season, and that's not a negative thing. You learn through all of those challenges.
Are there any other important things? I mean, of course, there are tons of important things people
Yes.
need to know, but are any of them popping to mind that you want to make sure that we share before we wrap up?
With real estate investing,
Or life in general? I mean, it all really is so interwoven.
yes. I mean, we could talk about, of course, the time managing and staying focused. Sometimes the shiny object I have to bring myself back around, like, no, I'm doing this right now. I'll look at this time. So just being aware of not, because I want to do it all, but focusing on the one or two things that I have going on and not jumping to the next thing until I see those through.
That's a great point because I also have shiny object syndrome. I'm
Yes.
like, ooh, let's look at that asset class. What about that one? I think laundromats would be great. Oh, maybe we should do this. And
Yes.
my
Yes.
husband's like, no.
Yes. Tiny home parks, all of it. I want it all. I want to do it all. It's fun. It's fun.
It is fun. And real estate is a vehicle. It gets me to where I want to be to create the impact I desire to create. It feeds my family. It makes sure everyone's secure, but I want to have a good time while I'm doing it.
Yes, and it is. And it's just exciting. I love trying to find the next property. I love the whole like underwriting and just seeing how it's going to work and how it all comes together. The end property after the rehab and everything is just it's so thrilling to me.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's a dopamine hit that I get from that
Yes.
experience.
Yes. I've noticed in the dark months of winter, that's when I'm really looking at property and doing those things. Gives me something to look forward to besides the cold winters.
And we were talking earlier, I'm a visionary. So I love the idea of planning the whole process and seeing how it goes from conception to completion. And then once it's closed and completed, I want to hand it off to somebody else to run with. And I want to go on to the next deal.
That is how I am also. Yes.
I didn't know that you owned a FedEx franchise. That was super interesting.
Yes.
And I think that further reinforces that anyone, no matter what your skill set is, can find success in real estate. You don't have to be a realtor. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to be anything. You just have to be driven.
Yes. And since we're talking to women, the real estate, I mean, the FedEx business is an all man, mostly male dominant business. And I chose to go in that after my divorce to just prove to myself that I could do it. And I didn't have any knowledge. I studied it and we can empower each other and do whatever we want to do.
Absolutely. There's a lot of in dominated fields practicing law. There's so much competition and exclusion for people that you feel are threats to you.
Yes.
I like a more collaborative approach. There's enough real estate for all of us, and
Yes.
there's always a deal that might not work for you, but will work really well for someone you know. That's one of the key things that I experience is including other people in my circles and in my conversations. So when something's not a good fit for me, I've got a list of other women I can be like, hey, Kim, you want to check this out? Might fit your buy box a little
Yes.
better than mine.
I love that. That's a really good idea. I
I,
can add that to my list to add.
I'm also super concerned about making sure that no one feels like I'm going behind their back or whatever, because that happens again all the time in the industry I'm coming.
Yes.
I have a friend who, if she comments on a post that somebody has made and I'm interested in that property, I will call her and be like, hey, are you going to move forward on that property? Because if you are, I'm not jumping in. But if you're not, I might throw my hat in the ring.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
often she's said, why don't we look at it together? Okay, let's go check it out. And if one of us likes it, we both like it, whatever, we'll figure it out.
Yes. Someone called me this morning and asked me about a PadSplit in Dallas. And I had looked at it, but for me right now, I want to finish what I'm doing before I start a new one. And the same thing, it's a respect thing. I wouldn't have cared if she went. I mean, she doesn't have a PadSplit yet, so I was like cheering her on. Yes, yes, go, and was sharing the numbers and different things that I discovered on the property. So yes, working together is being with like-minded women. The first time in my life, I will be 60 in January, and this is the first time that I have been around like-minded women, and I can't believe I've been missing out all these years.
Well, time to make up for it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to get in the same room with you and, as my friend and colleague Rhea Campbell says, share some molecules.
Yes, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's been really great chatting with you and sharing some of your experience with our listeners.
Yes, thank you for inviting me on.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Girl's Guide to Real Estate. If you loved today's episode, be sure to follow, rate, and share it with another smart girl who's ready to build generational wealth.